Hello, this is your teacher, Dr. John Marquis Burgos, teaching General Mathematics. Last time, we discussed about simple interest. I explained everything about simple interest, but now we will be dealing the second kind of interest, which is what we call compounded interest. So, let's view this, let's listen to this lesson. Compounded interest. Ano nga ba yung compounded interest na tinatawag? Ito yon. Nung minsan, pinag-usapan natin, when we say simple interest, it is the interest that comes from the amount. So pag sinabi nating amount, principal plus interest, that will be the amount. At magmula doon nang gagaling yung simple interest natin. Doon natin kinukuha yung simple interest. Nanggagaling iyon sa principal. So, idinadagdag yung interest na yon doon sa principal na ibinayad natin. So, pag sinabi natin interest, yun yung karagdagang charge na sinisingil ng negosyo or kumpanya na pinagbayaran natin dahil yun ang nagsisilbing parang fee or dagdag sa kanila para sa kanilang services sa paglilingkod nila sa iyo. That is what we call simple interest. But then, we will be discussing another kind of interest. And this is what we call compounded interest. So, ano naman yung compounded interest? Now, ganito yung compounded interest. Last time, pinag-aralan natin na pag sinabi nating amount, ito yung amount, amount is equal to principal plus interest. So, ito yung principal na ibinayad mo, dagdagan mo ng interest, ang tawag po dyan is amount. Sa compounded interest, itong amount mismo na ito, hindi yung principal, yung mismong amount ay dumadami, nagkakaroon. Habang dumadami siya, nagkakaroon po siya ng tinatawag nating interest. Kaya yun po ang tinatawag nating compounded interest. Kaya kayo, ang aking payo ay ito. Bago kayo bumili ng isang bagay, kung yan ay merong interest, tanungin nyo muna yung may-ari ng negosyo o dili kaya yung ahente kausap ninyo, tanungin nyo, ma'am, ito po ba ay simple interest or compounded interest? Pag sinabing compounded interest, mas malaki ang ipinapatong diyan dahil yung interest ay idinadagdag hindi sa principal, kundi doon mismo sa amount. At tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, pag sinabi natin amount, principal, dagdagan mo ng interest, yun yung amount. Pero sa compounded interest, yung amount mismo ay nadadagdagan pa ng interest at pagka nadagdagan na ng interest, eto na yung amount, madadagdagan na naman ng interest, kaya mas malaki ang idinadagdag. Kaya napakahalaga na matutunan mo yung compounded interest bago ka pumasok sa isang negosyo, bago ka maghulog ng isang puhunan, or whatever na paglalagyan mo ng iyong principal. Okay? Kaya ganun kahalaga ang compounded interest. Ngayon, tatanong nyo sa akin, Sir, paano po ba kinocompute ang compounded interest? Okay? So, paano namin malalaman magkano yung babayaran namin lahat-lahat magmula doon sa compounded interest na or yung interest na dumami? Well, eto yan. Huwag kayong mag-alala. Meron tayong formula para dyan. So, amount, yun yung amount dahil nadagdagan ng compounded interest, kaya amount ang pinag-uusapan natin ngayon. So, amount is equal to principal, quantity 1 plus rate over the C multiplied by C times T. In which, pag sinabi natin A, yun yung amount sa future value, yung P, yun yung magiging principal, yung R, yun yung rate, at yung C, ito napakahalaga nitong C na ito, okay? Ito yung number of compounding. So, sir, paano ko malalamang number of compounding po siya? Dito ibabatay mismo yung compounded interest. At tandaan niyo mabuti, pag sinabing annually, sa certain number of years, annually, taon-taon, magkano po yung nadadagdag. Yan po yung number of compounding interest or C. So pag sinabi natin annually, ang dadagdag dyan is 1. Kasi annually, isa lang. Pag sinabi natin semi-annually, ibig sabihin 2 beses sa isang taon, kaya ang magiging C natin is 2. Pag sinabi natin quarterly, 4 ang quarterly. So, ang magiging C mo is 4. Pag sinabi natin monthly, medyo mabigat ito monthly. Kasi compounded, nadadagdagan yung interest ng amount monthly. So, that will be 12. At ang pinakamabigat sa lahat, yung daily. Mantakin mo, compounded daily, nadadagdagan ng interest yung amount daily. So, that will be 365. Ito naman compounded interest, mga kapatid, hindi natin dapat na katakutan. Kasi po pwedeng gamitin ito doon sa amount na babayaran mo o dili kaya doon sa amount na ibabayad sa iyo or kikitain mo. Kaya kung ikaw naman yung negosyante at nagkasundo kayo sa isang compounded interest at pag sinabi naman daily, yun naman yung idadagdag sa iyo. Kaya 365. That will be your C. Okay? So, let's have an example. If 30,000 is deposited in a savings account in an annual rate of 4%, what is the amount in the account at the end of 2 years? So, hanggang 2 taon ito. If interest is compounded annually, kung ang compounded interest daw ay annually or yearly, magkano daw yun magiging annually or yearly sa loob ng 2 taon? So, taking the formula, we have the principal which is 30,000 and the time will be 2 years dahil ang sabi sa problem at the end of 2 years at ang rate daw na nadadagdag compoundedly is 4% at ang tinitingnan natin dito sa C is yung annually. So, tingnan natin. Let's compute. So, here's the formula. Amount is equal to principal, quantity 1 plus rate over C, quantity C times T. So, substituting the amount or the value, we have which is 30,000 or the principal which is 30,000, then quantity, and then 1 added by, this is 4%. Just like what I said in the simple interest, when we say percent, you have to change that to decimal. So since the interest is 4%, 4 divided by 100, it will be 4 hundredths. Now, dahil annually divided that by 1, quantity raised to the power of C, which is 1, times the time, which is 2 years. So, performing the operation, you have to perform this operation first. 4 hundredths divided by 1 will be 4 hundredths, and 1 times 2 will be 2. And then what we will do, based on our basic mathematics, you have to add this, so the answer will be 1 and 4 hundredths, but raised to the power of 2. So, what we will do, we will raise this to the power of 2 first. So the answer is 1.0816. And then, that's the time that you will multiply it by 30,000 up to 4 decimal places. So the total amount of the compounded interest amount after 2 years, compounded annually, i-multiply, nagkaroon ng compounded interest annually for 2 years, the total amount is 32,448 based on our computation here. Siguro tatanungin niyo, Sir, so magkano yung naging compounded interest annually sa loob ng 2 taon? So ganitong gagawin natin dyan. Here's the formula, just like what I taught you in the simple interest. Interest is equal to amount minus the principal or deducted by the principal. Itong interest is equal to amount minus the principal. Lagi natin ginagamit yan. Simple interest pa yan or compounded interest. So taking that the amount, we have 32,448 subtracted by the main principal, which is 30,000, and the answer is 2,448. That means sa loob ng 2 taon, compounded interest annually ang lumaki o naging amount ngayon after 2 years ay 2,448 pesos. Let's have an example, second example. Taking the first example, we have the principal, which is 30,000, and then the annual rate is 4%, and then 2 years pa rin tayo, but then, ang tanong, the compounded will be this time semi-annually. So just like what I said, when you say semi-annually, 2 beses sa isang taon madadagdagan. So, kukumpitin natin, 2 beses yung magiging compounded interest niya, mag-accelerate yung compounded interest niya sa loob ng 2 taon. So, magkano kaya yon? So, we have the principal again, which is 30,000. The rate is 4% again. Just like what I told you, you have to change this to decimal. So, in changing this to decimal, just like what I said, in the simple interest, 4 divided by 100, that will be 4 hundredths or 0.04, and then the number of years is still 2 years pa rin tulad kanina, but this time C is equal to 2. Sir, bakit 2? Kasi nga semi-annually, 2 beses sa isang taon, kaya we will multiply that by 2. So to show you the computation, substituting all the values in this formula, so we have here 30,000 quantity 1 plus 0.04 or 400, ito yung 4% kanina, divided by 2 dahil semi-annually nga o 2 taon, raised to the power of 2 dahil ito yung compounded, ito yung semi-annually at sa loob ng 2 taon. Multiply that by 4 by 2, multiply that all together, that will be 4, and then divide 400 by 2, the answer will be 0.02 or 200. And then, i-add nyo muna ito, at ito ang magiging resulta, 1.02, but raise that to the power 4. Ngayon, alam ko magiging problema nyo. Sir, paano natin kukumputin yan? Mas madali kung meron po kayong calculator. So, sa calculator po ninyo, ang gagawin nyo lang po, pindutin nyo lang po yung number, which is 1 and 0, 2. Press the number, and then press this key in your calculator, yung merong x raised to the box dyan. Kaya yung ilalagay nyo sa box dyan is 4, and then press the equal sign. The answer will be 1.082. Tatandaan po natin, up to 4 decimal places lamang po. Multiply that by 30,000, the answer will be 32,472. So ito na po yung amount na na-accumulate kapag ka merong semi-annually na compounded interest sa loob ng 2 taon. That's 32,472. Sir, again, magkano ngayon yung naging compounded interest kung yan ay semi-annually, ay may compounded interest tayo for o sa loob ng 2 years. So tulad ng tinanong natin kanina o pinag-usapan natin kanina, interest is equal to the amount, which is 32,472, subtracted by the principal lamang po, which is 30,000. So the answer will be 2,472. So ito po yung naging compounded interest natin. Third example. So again, I use the same problem para hindi na tayo mahihirapan, but this time the compounded will be quarterly. So pag sinabi natin quarterly, that will be equal to 4. Bakit 4, sir? Kasi kaya 4, dahil pag sinabi natin quarter, 4 siya. So ang compounded mo ay magiging 4, and then we have the same value for the problem. We have 30,000, which is the principal. Rate of 4%, tulad na sinabi ko, we have to change this to decimal. So 4 divided by 100, that will be 0.04 or 400. At sa loob ng 2 years. Okay? So substituting the formula again, substituting the value in the formula, we have here the value, and then again multiply this by 8, and then divide this by 4, that will be 0.01 or 100, and then all you have to do, add niyo uli ito, so that will be 1 and 100, but raised to the power of 8. Now, tulad ng sinabi ko, para hindi kayo mahihirapan, if you have your scientific calculator, better. Para sa ganun, mas madadalian po tayo. So, press the number, which is 1.01, and then pakipress nyo yung x raised to the power of the box, at ilalagay nyo sa box ay yung 8, and then press the equal sign, at ang lalabas na po na sagot ay 1.082. Tandaan po natin, up to 4 decimal places lamang po tayo. Multiply that by 30,000, that will be 32,460. So sa madalit salita, sa loob ng 2 taon, if the compounded interest nag-increase po siya ng quarterly or 4 times sa loob ng 1 taon, sa loob ng 2 taon, okay, nag-increase siya, ulitin ko, nag-increase siya ng 4 na beses sa loob ng 1 taon, ngunit lahat-lahat kasama na yung 2 taon. Ilan lahat-lahat yung magiging amount niya. So the amount will be 32,460. Ngayon, again, the question, ilan yung naging compounded interest niya? So pag sinabi natin ulit compounded interest, based dito sa problemang ito, sa loob ng 2 taon, sa 1 taon, 4 na beses, 2 taon po siya. So, ang gagawin natin, kukunin natin yung lumalabas na interest ngayon. So, interest is equal to the amount, which is 32,460, minus the principal, which is 30,000. So, that will be 32,460 minus 30,000. So, ang lumalabas na interest niya is 2,460. That is the compounded interest. I hope guys, natutunan po ninyo kung paano ang compounded interest. At tatandaan po ninyo, napakalaking bagay po na matutunan natin ito dahil pagka tinulungan tayo nito at pagkabisado natin ito, alam natin ito, tatandaan nyo, hindi tayo pwedeng dayain, hindi tayo po pwedeng lokohin. At ang mahalaga ay alam natin kung ano ang gagawin. Salamat po ng marami at good day sa inyong lahat.